Victor Calderon.
On today's program, we are being taken over by the Madelyns. Yes, first is Madeline Murray. She is the weekend anchor and the multimedia journalist for KYMA. We're going to find out what a multimedia journalist does and what it's like to anchor on those weekends and bring those stories to life. As well as Madilyn Toms, or Maddie as she likes to be called. She is Miss Yuma County right now, and she's going to be competing for Miss Arizona and then eventually Miss America. We're going to find out what that's all about as well. So stay with us for What's Up Yuma Radio, beginning right now on KOFA 94.7 FM.
And streaming online at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. You can also view our show on the Border Radio Facebook page and the KAWC YouTube page. And don't forget, you can reach out to us by email at whatsupyumaradio@gmail.com.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by High Tanks Brewing Company, serving up scratch-made food, craft beers, and experiences at 2 desert locations in Welton. More at hightanks.com.
Chili from Philly. Nick Papa Giorgio from Yuma.
Johnny Show! What's up, Yuma?
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to another episode of What's Up Yuma Radio. I'm Johnny Porter.
And I'm Victor Calderon on What's Up Madeline today.
I know, right?
No.
Exactly. We could start off the show to say rest in peace to Chuck Norris, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, an icon.
Yeah, so I think people are saying, there's all these memes of Chuck Norris that are online, and I heard one like Chuck Norris didn't die, like the world died around him or something like that.
Yeah. And then there's some like, finally the God gets to meet his creator today.
Oh, yeah.
And then there was another one that the rapture finally happened and he was the only one worthy of going, stuff like that. So it's a lot of good ones out there. But rest in peace, Chuck Norris, if you grew up watching his stuff. But today, yes, we are taken over by the Madelyns. It's pretty cool. It just kind of worked out that way. And today, right now, we are joined by Madeline Murray. And do I pronounce that right?
Yes, Madeline, yeah.
No, the Murray part.
Oh,
because
Murray.
the reason why.
Murray?
No,
It's French.
No, because there's a R-A-Y. And there's, there's Murray, and it was like, M-A-N-U-R-Y. But Murray, that's how it looks. Like, And I read everything. I'm like Ron Burgundy, and I'll read it like Murray, Yeah. Anyway.
No, it's boring. It's just Murray.
Murray, just Murray. Okay, cool. All right, I will move on from that then. All right, and so you are the weekend anchor. You're a multimedia journalist, and I found out you just don't work on the weekends. You also do reporting throughout the week.
I do, yes.
All right, and so we're going to kind of get into that in a little bit, but we like to get to know all of our guests here and how they ended up here in Yuma. So where are you from originally, and were you always kind of interested in being on the TV
side of things?
Yeah.
I'm originally from Northern California and kind of like a small town called Tracy. So not a lot of people know where Tracy's at.
I know where that is.
Victor did, and he's very, very happy about it.
If you look at a map, if you go north to south, it goes Sacramento, Stockton, Modesto.
Yeah.
And Tracy's like in between Stockton and Modesto.
Yeah, like right there, central, right in between everything. So small town called Tracy. Grew up in a family of six, oldest of 4 siblings. And growing up, I feel like, I don't know, like I was interested and I always loved the spotlight is what my mom said.
Oh, you did? Oh,
yeah,
okay. How would mom say it? Would she say it like, okay, calm down, all right? Or is it like she encourage it?
No.
Like my baby's going to be a star.
No, it was more like she would be recording me and she'd be like, there's Madeline. She loves the spotlight. Smile for the camera, Madeline.
Like they say, hamming it up for the camera, that type of thing. Oh, okay.
So, I grew up very much, a theater kid. I love theater. I love being on stage and listening to musicals and everything. And so,
were you doing performances at your like elementary school? I know like a lot of them have like Christmas programs, stuff like that. And I know later on, junior high, high school, they have the theater programs. But did you start pretty early or?
Not really. Kind of. I was kind of scared to get into it. I kind of sang on my own, sang in the shower. Parents told me to shut up.
Yeah, there you go.
But I did. I sang in church, like in middle school a little bit, or going into high school, and did some like church performances. And then once I got into high school, that's when I was part of Wizard of Oz, and I was supposed to be in Mary Poppins, but COVID canceled that.
Mm-hmm.
And, Into the Woods, yeah.
Okay, so you're doing the theater side of things. Do you enjoy that? And what characters did you play in these programs?
I do. In Into the Woods, I was Jack's mother, so kind of like the main character Jack. I was his mother, and then I was Annie M in The Wizard of Oz. I actually did that after high school, and I was.
Oh, okay.
I went back to work for my high school, and was the assistant director. So then we didn't have enough people, so my director said, "You're NEM."
You're in.
Yes.
You're in.
He was like, "You're in." I was like, "Okay, sure." But yeah, and then in the Mary Poppins, I was the mom, Jane's mom, Mrs. Banks. Yeah, so always kind of been into performance and theater, and so I feel like that kind of had to do with me getting into journalism, like being on TV. But I more so didn't know that I wanted to be in TV news until I was in college.
Yeah.
So yeah, once I hit community college, that's kind of where it kind of took off.
Those things started to develop then.
Yeah, a little bit. I was taking a public speaking class, and my professor, I guess I was talking.
So real quick, before you get to it, we'll get back to that. You're talking. What made you take that public speaking class?
Just regular, the course outline, the general education requirements that you have to take, before your major classes.
Gotcha.
So it was my prerequisite, I guess, to start taking major classes. But at the time, I was undeclared. So,
oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just one of them, and then something happens while you're taking this class. Okay,
yes.
Go ahead.
So I'm giving a speech. I think it was an informative speech, and I just was talking, I guess, like a news reporter. And my teacher, she stops me after. She was like, "Okay, I need to ask you something. Have you ever taken a journalism class?" And I was like, "No." And she was like, "Okay, well, you have the cadence of a news reporter, and that's not really what we're looking for in public speaking, but on-air television should be your major. You have a talent, and you need to go pursue that right now."
So was this near Tracy, or where'd you go to community college?
San Joaquin Delta College.
Okay.
So Stockton area is where I went. I went online for 2 years.
Okay.
So just stayed online, stayed at home working, and tried to save up money before moving out.
Are they watching us in Tracy right now, maybe? You tell some people to watch?
I do tell them.
What's up, Tracy?
What's up, Tracy?
So this was online that you did the public speaking thing?
Yes, over Zoom.
Over Zoom,
Yes.
You're doing that, and then the professor, how does that work? Right afterwards says, hey, this is, or is it another Zoom call later, or?
No, it was right after.
Right
she
after,
gave you the critiques right after. It was a 7-minute speech, and then she they kind of talk about it for 5 minutes about what you did and what she liked, and she was like, "Yep, this is you. It's impressive. You should go pursue that." And I was like, at the time, I didn't know what I was going to do, so I was like, I guess if she's telling me, it's a professor telling me something, I was like, okay, maybe I should try it out.
So yesterday we were talking off air earlier. We had Joaquin on, and somebody, and I forget the details, but told him you have a great voice. You need to use it.
That was Lou Gum.
Yeah. It was Lou Gum.
Our own former news director.
It was our own Lou Gum said you have this great voice that you need to use it, and so Lou Gum, been in the business a long time, a heavyweight, said that to somebody, and Joaquin did it. So similar situation with you. A professor said, "Wait a minute, you have this cadence," which reporters do have a certain cadence that they kind of deliver the news with that we're familiar with. And I just have to ask, where did you pick that up? Do you have any idea where you picked up that cadence?
No, not at all. I guess that was my way of how to professionally speak. I guess
to deliver something.
To deliver something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Did you watch a lot of news?
No.
No?
Not at all,
Did
no.
your parents?
Wow.
No.
Well, my dad kind of, yes, but I was not really around at home. I was always involved in sports or school. I was always busy, never really at home watching the news with my parents. And so I don't know where I picked it up. It was just kind of okay, maybe I do. And
that's
so
cool. And if you have it, it's a gift, because you have to for TV, you have to be able to, also be an anchor, but also if you're doing a live shot, you have to be out there and be I'm here in front of, the fire. As you can see behind me, it's growing.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
Yeah. So that's pretty cool then. You had it. You don't know how you had it. With me, my dad listened to a lot of talk radio. So that was always in me, just hearing it. And that's what he paid most of the attention to. And those are the people that could really either get under his skin or get him going, depending on what they're saying. And so I have always had that in my background. But so you just had this natural cadence, and this professor said this. And then so did you start to change some of your classes, or your major, declare? What'd you do?
Yeah, so from there, I kind of I talked to my counselor, and I was like, I think this is the route I want to go. And at the time, I was trying to make sure all my credits would transfer over to the university I was going to, which is Grand Canyon University. So I was in touch with both counselors, trying to make sure that everything, all the credits I was taking at community college would transfer over. And yeah, they just gave me my course lineup. I took most of my major courses were at GCU, so I didn't really have to worry much about Delta as much as I did about GCU. So it was more kind of like general education classes, like math, psychology, English 1, English 2, like history at Delta until I transferred over to GCU, and then that's when I took broadcasting and podcasting and professional writing. I think I took another speaking class. So, yeah.
What did you enjoy at GCU? What classes really kind of did you gel with?
Yeah, there's so many classes. I think it was more like professional writing for sure. Also broadcasting and podcasting, like the stuff that kind of gave you the hands-on experience that you kind of need to like understand what you're getting into. So like we were able to actually like do a podcast with like one of our we like teamed up with classmates and did a podcast. We did broadcast production where we all were assigned like different roles, like production assistant, producer, anchor, reporter, and then put a whole broadcast together. So, but I actually didn't end up getting into those classes till like the later parts of like my senior year, and then So
you enjoyed doing the podcast? Was that fun?
I did. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We kind of were struggling trying to think of an idea, but me and my friend, we were really into musicals, so we just decided to talk about musicals on our podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did like an episode based upon musicals, and you just got to give your like critique or some of your favorites, some reviews or something?
Yes, we kind of talked about, there was one we talked about the different adaptations of like on stage performances compared to like movies, like Wicked, on
a big one
on the stage versus on the movie. And I was more for like an in-stage person experience, and my friend likes the movies better. Or we talked about just kind of like the history of some of like our favorite musicals on it. And it was called Playbills and Popcorn.
Playbills and Popcorn.
Yeah.
Is it out? Like, could we like see it later?
Yeah, it's on Spotify.
Okay. Check it out.
We got to get a whole research and development team over here looking on that stuff so we can play little clips.
Because people are like, we have videos or whatever. Our parents have videos. We want to watch them later.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you're there and you're taking the classes, and then you say like, okay, I definitely want to be in or do news, but not really, because we're talking off air. There was like another thing that you were going to go work at, like a resort or something.
Yeah.
So like it was a little bit of like, I got this school, but tell me a little bit about that.
Okay, so I didn't start. I think I was scared because I didn't start getting experience in broadcasting. All my other classmates had internships and were working closely with our professors. And at the time, I didn't have a relationship with any of our broadcast professors until my senior year, when I decided to join the broadcast club at GCU. And that's when I was able to get more production assistant experience. And then from there, my spring semester, literally a year ago today, was I started getting on air, like on TV, like on camera experience.
Oh, so it was like real late in the game.
Didn't have an internship, didn't know what I was doing. And then that's when I developed a good relationship with my professor. And she was able to kind of help me through that. But at the time, like you said, we talked about earlier, I was going to go to Great Wolf Lodge, where I originally worked at. And I was going to...
Have you heard of this place?
I've heard of it. I haven't been, but they're like these resorts with like indoor like water parks, and they're big on with like families. I haven't been to one, but I know there's one in Northern California.
Yeah, so that's what I've never heard of it, but she was saying off air again that, okay, so you have all this schooling, but then you're like, I'm going to go get a job over here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it was more like just scared. Like I didn't know for sure if like news was something I wanted to pursue. It was kind of like a scary thing, because I knew like I was going to have to move. I was going to have to try to get some experience somehow. And I was like, is this like really like something I want to push myself towards and like jump out of my comfort zone, out of my box, to go do. And so I was going to go to Great Wolf Lodge, work there as the entertainment.
And you worked there previous, right? You said you worked there
previous in Northern California for about like 2 to 3 years.
And they just happen to have one right up the street in Scottsdale or something, right? So not too far from where you're at. And so you applied there. Mm-hmm. And then what happens?
So I applied there, and I went through, there was like a heavy interview process. I went through like HR, through the manager, through their GM, their assistant GM, everybody. And I ended up having a conversation with my professor the day before I got a call from Great Wolf Lodge. And she was like, I don't know, like, I don't think this is something you should do. Like, you remind me of a past student that did the same thing. She decided not to pursue broadcasting after everything she just worked on, and she regretted it. And I was like, wow, like, I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
So I had this conversation. She was like, if you don't get into it, you never will. Like, your reel will get expire. It's not going to be as relevant. It's going to be outdated. And she was like, you need to jump into it now. And so the next day I got a call from Great Wolf Lodge. They told me I got the job, and I turned it down.
Jeez, yeah, that's it's scary, right? Scary. You something you're familiar with. You worked there before. It's right over here. It seems like, well, this will work out. And then again, a professor, somebody with authority that you obviously look up to, that's been around, says, no, I don't want you to regret it the way this past student did.
Yeah.
And you said, I don't want to regret it either. Yeah, so we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to find out how that then leads to you here in Yuma, Arizona. We're going to do that right after this. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
If you're not going to be at your radio, you can still listen to your favorite programs. Download the KAWC KOFA app from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store. Stream us online at kawc.org or borderradioaz.org, or ask your smart device to play KAWC or KOFA.
You're listening to 94.7 FM, KOFA Border Radio. There's an extreme heat warning for Yuma and La Paz counties today with a high near 107 in Yuma. Mostly clear tonight with a low around 70. In the latest episode of Siendo Primero, you'll hear about the AI elephant in the classroom, a recent event at Arizona Western College. And the hosts explore the many faces of AI, from the funny stories happening on campus to its role as a tool that helps us navigate everyday student life. Stay tuned to 94.7 FM, KOFA Border Radio.
From KAWC, this is Siendo Primero. I'm Sajei Bárcenas.
And I'm Melanie Ruiz Lopez. In this episode, we'll be talking about AI, artificial intelligence.
I use AI all the time to help me with difficult questions, coming up with study prompt.
There's a lot of questions that I had, and I was able to use AI for it.
I do let students in that class use it to translate.
A new energy with the same mission.
To give students a voice.
Why is music an important part of your life? For many of us, music lets us see the world from someone else's perspective. We can find community in hearing someone else's joy, sorrow, or hope expressed in song or melody. KOFA Border Radio is your local, non-commercial source for great music.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up Yuma Radio. We are here speaking with Madeline, and we get to the point of the story where she made a big life decision, another incident with a professor that says, you don't want to regret this. And she turned down a job that she was familiar with and went into the unknown. So how did the unknown go to, you're going to be moving to Yuma?
Well, I ended up, after that conversation with my professor, just kind of taking a leap of hope. You know, I'm a big woman in my faith. I kind of had to trust in God to kind of lead me on the right path, like to where I was going to go, and just hope that by the end of the semester I would have a job and wouldn't have to move back in with my parents for like who knows how long. So I ended up, one of our previous alumni from GCU, she actually worked at KYMA, and she was able to reach out to my professor, who was like, hey, we have a job opening for an MMJ here.
So you didn't know who she was at the time, but she knew the professor and said, hey, this is open. Yes. And then the professor said, hey, we got you.
Yes.
And who's that at KYMA?
Andrea Turris.
Andrea.
Yes.
You got to work on getting her now.
We got to get her on.
Yeah, you got to talk about it, because it's kind of like a full circle moment. Like, without her, I wouldn't be here, and now we're really good friends. And she's definitely just been a blessing in my life, helping me through this entire journey. So, yeah, ended up interviewing with my boss, like probably a month after I turned that job down. And the next week, reached out to my professor next week, had the interview, and then the next day got the job.
And Yuma, a starter market for people coming in. Like I was telling you off air, I was born and raised here, and I make relationships. I've been in media PR stuff for 20 years or over 20 years now, and like I know people for about 2 years or a year, and then they're gone. Yeah. But you come over here, you have an interview, and did that interview, was that with both Ernesto and Scott Gross at the time?
Yeah. Zoom interview.
A Zoom interview, and you said there was a particular incident, and there's a reason why I'm bringing this up, because you had to cover a story, and I'm going to lead into that, but where they's like, okay, you got to go, you're live on the scene. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so during my interview, it kind of caught me off guard. They told me it was going to be like a 45 to an hour long interview, and I was like, an hour long interview? Like, because usually you think it's like 30 minutes, you know? So we get to the end of the questions, took like 45 minutes, and I was like, oh, cool, like done? Like, okay. And they're like, so now we're gonna put you on the spot, and we're gonna give you a scenario, and I'm gonna be the police officer on scene, and then the other guy gave me my prompt, and they're like, you have 5 minutes to ask your questions to the police officer on scene, and when that 5 minutes is up, you're going to look into the camera on the computer and pretend like you're going live. And so I had 5 minutes to ask like kind of all the reporter question, everything I had been studying in school. I came up to this point, it felt like, to where I had to get this job, and I was just like, okay, like trying to think, like they're like, go, like it was just so fast, like not even able to think, like. And I was like, I froze for a second. I like froze. I was like, oh, what do I do?
They're like, wait, did the screen freeze or what's up?
And it was like a crazy prompt too. It was like somebody was shot dead inside their house, like, and is in the living room, and there you go, on this street, and that's it. Like that's all you got to know.
And then go.
Yeah, go. So I just had to be like, okay, who, what, where, when. What? Like, can you tell me what happened? Around what time do you think? How many people were shot? You know, where was this at? What was the weapon that was used? And like, just all these different questions. Did the suspect, like, did you see him on camera? Is he flee on foot? Like, all just trying to think. And I was able to like get all this information. And then they're like, at the end of the 5 minutes, they started counting down. There was like 10 minutes till live shot, or not 10 minutes, 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Like 5 seconds, 3, 2. And then like just like point, and I just had to, right behind me, I'm on the scene, and 2 people were shot dead in their home, and yeah, it was crazy. I was like, wow, this is like everything I've worked up to. So nerve-wracking, trying not to like stutter or like mess up. Never been live in my life, like or anything. We didn't even have like really like, we had like one practice live like in school where we just like went out and we're like, okay, just pretend like you're live. Like and yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, and so how long have you been here in Yuma now?
9 months.
9 months.
Yes.
And in that time, you did have a live, and I was watching that one. It was pretty interesting. Tell us a story about you seeing a helicopter in the air when you're supposed to be reporting on St. Patrick's Day and DUIs.
Yeah, so we were downtown, the Pint House, trying to go live for informing the community about, there's going to be extra patrolling units with YPD, so make sure, like, if you do decide to celebrate the holiday, like, you're not drinking and driving, you have a plan to get home safe, and we're in between live shots. We went live at the 4, 5, and 6 o'clock shows, or I should say 4 or 5 with this story at least. We had an hour between 5 and 6, and so I'm standing there with my videographer. We're kind of just sitting down waiting, and had an hour to kill, and we look up into the sky, or he does, and he sees like a Border Patrol helicopter just kind of circling around, kind of like over by Winter Haven a little bit, and we're like, what's going on over there? And he's like, should we check it out? And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, like let's go check it out. We have time to kill. So it was cool. We like literally were chasing like this, like what we hoped to be like breaking news, and kind of like had to pinpoint where the helicopter was at, and it was like up in between like this park or something, like somewhere like nobody would ever like hidden. We saw all these cop cars. We pulled up next to the canal where it was at, and we just see like the Arizona State Police Gang Task Force and the Border Patrol, and these guys were in like swimsuits, like with like acting like scuba divers, like they were gonna go like get this guy, and it ended up being like some guy was hiding under a bridge on the Yuma Main Canal, wasn't coming out.
The guy's hiding. He's in the water, And then you said he's gripping onto maybe like some bars that are down there or something, and they're saying, "Get out, you gotta." And he's like, "No, I like being in water. I like swimming.
I'm trying to cool off. It's hot.
It's like it's hot out. You know,
I'm going for a swim."
And so then you have to see this and be like, "Okay, I got to go live about this."
Yeah.
And like, how'd that work out?
So and it was actually my first time doing breaking news.
Oh, that's the first. Okay,
yeah, breaking news first time. I feel like every other time I've been off or like I have different days. It always somehow happens on a Thursday and Friday when I'm off. And, like the fun
and all the fun stuff happens.
like
all
sad,
the crazy
like,
people are out. No, okay,
yeah. But I was like, okay, like this. I looked at my videographer. This is our live, and I go, uh-oh. I've been live before, but never for like breaking news yet. And so I was like, okay, like I call my boss. I'm like, hey, like this is what's going on. This is what I'm seeing. Do you want me to go live for this? Do you want me to do like we call it a naked live? And he's like, yeah. He's like, cool, go for it. And I was like, okay, like, and so I ended up, it's like when you get on scene, everything's happening so fast, like, and you're trying to talk to people, but they're busy trying to like figure out their situation, and you have to like figure out who's the main person to talk who's who, got to get that official sound, try to talk to somebody. So I ended up going to the Arizona State Gang Police Task Force supervisor and was like, hey, like I'm a reporter for KYMA, like can you tell me what's going on here? And he was like, I can't. And I was like, okay, like he was like, this is a situation based out of Phoenix, and I can't really tell you what's going on. And I was like, and he was like, I can try to get like call the Arizona like DPS, and I was like, okay, like like let me know what you can do. And so I was kind of just walking back and forth, and in this moment you just have to what you see, like what you hear, what you smell, like all your senses, and kind of just that's how you have to like tell the story and figure out what you're going to say live on TV in like 15 minutes. Like
with limited information, you got to go on and just you got to be poised. And then I know people in comments in the time of social media, they kind of get upset, like we want more info or something like that. That ends up happening after these things go live and stuff. But you're just giving what you can because, like you said, this was something out of Phoenix. They weren't giving you all the information, but it's like. This like you're on.
You just gotta roll with it.
You just gotta go with it. Inform the community of what's happening in the area, and it sucks. I mean, not getting that information, but you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Like I can't force somebody to talk to me or like. So that's when you use your senses and you're like, okay, this is what I'm seeing.
You gotta be as descriptive as possible.
And then you saw the guy getting detained and kind of putting into
It was crazy. We actually got it on TV, like perfect timing. Like he was being loaded up into the ambulance and everything. They put a boat in the water, pulled him out, and like pushed him up against the cop car, and then like detained him and put him in the ambulance. And it was all on live TV. And I just walked out. It was like right behind me, as you can see, they're loading him up. He was just detained. Here's that breaking news update about 15 minutes ago. They were still trying to get him out of this canal, calling for him. And so I'm just like saying everything that I saw and hear and everything. So
that's cool.
Yeah, very much an adrenaline rush.
So I have a couple questions for the reporter. So first of all, as a fellow journalist, what do you like about the profession?
I think I feel like same thing with, Danielle and Joaquin. I'm sure they said too earlier on the show, like the people, like just getting out there in the community and being able to tell people's stories and things that matter. It's so much bigger than you are. Like telling other people's stories and bringing help, like an awareness to those people, doing things like GoFundMe's, like trying to help get people the funds they need to take care of their family members and who've been injured or, unfortunately have died, or like being able to bring help to those families is definitely something I value most as a reporter, and something that I think is like so much bigger than I am, than myself.
So like finding the people behind the news, right? Behind the headlines, like who are these people? What makes them tick? Who were they if it was someone who passed away? So thinking back, you said you've been here about 9 months in Yuma, but either here in Yuma or in college, what was a story that like is your favorite and why?
I probably have to say I highlighted a story on men's breast cancer, and I feel like that's something that's kind of so overlooked. And I was able to talk about the guy that I highlighted, and he was in the rodeo and is very well known here, I feel like, in the Yuma community, with Bridget's Gift and everything, and just kind of like help him bring his story to light and like make awareness that men's breast cancer is a thing too. Like it's not just women that go through this, highlight his story and what he's going through and bring the community to like make them aware, like this isn't just something that's, not just about women, it's about men too. And, so like, that was definitely a story that stuck with me, and he ended up coming up to me, thanking me, like, and it's so much, like, so much, like I said, so much bigger than myself. And when you have somebody come up to you and say like, hey, thank you for telling my story, like it's just something that sticks with you, that you always remember. So
that's cool.
So do you also do anchoring? We're going to be wrapping up right now. Do you like that? You're doing that on the weekends?
I do. I love anchoring. It's so fun to be able to be creative and put like my own show together and different stories and just try to be as creative as possible. I brought cereal for Cereal Day up on like at our kicker, kind of like our tease ending. And it's just anchoring's a lot of fun.
And that personality and doing that stuff to me is what's very important. Doing stuff like that and having your personality doing that, and it's really what breaks through the wall of that television and kind of puts you in people's homes and minds. And then when they see you out, it's like, oh yeah, she brought the cereal, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely been recognized in public. You go to the grocery store and it's like, oh, I see you on TV. Like, I hope you like it, like what I'm doing. So
that happens with her and anyone on TV. I am a little more incognito.
Because it's just your voice mostly.
Unless I talk to people and then they recognize my voice. But like, I'm not on TV, so people don't say, hey, you. But now with this,
now they do.
A little bit more. Now because of the streaming and the YouTube and the Facebook.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today. I appreciate you sharing your story, and shout out to Ernesto. It's just a great thing he got going. I appreciate that he's still here. He's been here for so long, and everybody has nothing but nice things to say about him. So shout out to Ernesto, and we're gonna have to get who on.
Andrea, anyone that wants to come on. We've had Jaylene, and we had Danielle Burke North, who just her contract just ended, and we had Joaquin. So anyone. I'm trying to get Manoa and Skylar and anyone who wants to come on. We'll KYMA on the radio.
There we go. All right. Well, thank you so much. And with that, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back with the other Madilyn, Miss Yuma County, right after this. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by the 2 Welton locations of High Tanks Brewing Company. It's craft brewery and tap room, featuring scratch-made food and handcrafted beers, including Daphne's Date Ale and the Gila Hazy IPA. Also, live music and experiences such as farm tours and glamping are available. More at hightanks.com.
This week on the Retro Cocktail Hour, we'll hear the savage and sensuous bongos, also the traveling Wilburys of exotica music, the Surfmen, plus some TV private eye jazz. I'm Daryl Brogdon. Join me where the music is shaken, not stirred. The Retro Cocktail Hour.
Saturday evening from 7 to 9 on Border Radio KOFA.
From KAWC News, I'm Cisco Stargazer. A New York Times investigation is alleging United Farm Workers co-founder Cesar Chavez groomed and sexually abused girls who worked in the movement, including UFW co-founder Dolores Huerta. Chavez's legacy has been especially significant to Yuma County, as he was born in Yuma and passed away in San Luis. But now, the breaking news is forcing various city officials and school districts to reconsider their tributes to Chavez. In San Luis, the Gadsden Elementary School District has a Cesar Chavez Elementary School and has traditionally participated in honoring Chavez through community events. Superintendent Lisette Esparza told KAWC, quote, "At this time, we are carefully reviewing the matter and will weigh before taking any action or making a formal response," end quote. Any formal actions will likely take place after a vote from the governing board, so locals will have to wait and see if any changes come about from the allegations. From KAWC News, I'm Cisco Stargazer.
The Yuma County Fairgrounds hosts the 74th annual Yuma County Fair, March 31st through April 5th. With the theme America the Beautiful, celebrating 250 years, this year's week-long event features carnival rides, live entertainment, and family activities that celebrate agriculture and community. Information at yumafair.com.
This is folk singer Michael Jonathan. Join us on Wood Songs this week as we celebrate the amazing world of the front porch with ukulele master and songwriter Emmy Sunshine, plus New York City songwriter and daughter of the legendary Jack Hardy. Her name is Miranda Hardy with songs from her new album, plus an amazing Wood Songs kid, all on this week's broadcast of the Wood Songs Old Time Radio Hour.
Tuesday evening at 7 on KOFA Border Radio 94.7 FM.
I'm Mike Suba, and I'm a big supporter of KAWC. You're getting a great source of information about our community, about the people that are working and living here, and you start going, you know what, this is really a valued service. And that's the great thing, is you've got a partnership here. And I'm a big believer in partnerships because the one thing I realized early on in life, I can maybe do a lot of stuff on a very limited basis, but when I start partnering up, it's amazing what we can do when we pool our resources. And so I hope that when people are listening to the station, enjoying the news broadcasts and the entertainment shows that are being presented, that they realize that you're not only the end user and enjoying what is being broadcast to you, but it can be a partnership too, where you can participate like I've discovered I can do and help get this service, enhance it, and provide even better programming. I'm Mike Suba, and I support KAWC.
If you're tired of listening to long commercials before finally hearing music, look no further. We've got you covered. Whether you're searching on your radio, trying to find an app to play some tunes, or need background music playing on your computer while finishing up some work, KOFA Border Radio is your non-commercial place for music.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We switched out the Madelyns right now. That's we kicked the other one out, and we got another Madeline. And
yeah,
this
what's up, Madeline?
Yeah, but and this one has a crown on her head right there. Yeah, there you can see if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. She has a crown because she is currently Miss Yuma County. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for being with us, Madilyn Toms. I appreciate it.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here and talk to you guys for a bit.
Yeah, and we were talking off air. You're mentioning that you're a Yuma girl through and through.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I was born and raised. My parents grew up here, met here in Yuma. They both went to Yuma High.
They met here.
Yeah,
cool,
they're high school sweehearts.
Oh,
so.
cool.
And they're criminals, too.
Yep, yeah, Yuma criminals.
Yuma crims, okay.
Yeah, I was not a Yuma criminal.
No.
I was a hawk.
Oh, okay.
I was a traitor.
right up the street here, yeah.
Yep, yeah. So, yeah, just, and my grandpa had a business here for years, and so...
What did he do?
He actually owned a construction company back in the day. He retired, so it's no longer, but he owned Bill Toms Construction.
Bill Toms Construction,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I might have heard of that. I've been in construction field in my previous work experience, so he had that, and a Yuma girl through and through. So what elementary school did you go to then?
So I began at Raleigh. And then I switched over to Desert Mesa for 5th grade.
Mm-hmm.
So it was my first and last year there. And then went to Castle Dome and then went on over to Gila Ridge. And so, I did some AWC. So back on home turf.
So a young Maddie, did a young Maddie dream of being Miss Yuma County? How did that happen?
What's so funny is no. And like, I remember all the Miss Yuma counties growing up.
Oh, you do? You were familiar with it?
Yeah. So I remember, and some of my friends were actually Miss Yuma counties, but I was so consumed with dance. I never even thought about it. And it wasn't until I reconnected with a high school friend who was a previous Miss Yuma County, Gabby Hines. She really convinced me to go for it. And it was really cool exploring that world, and I fell in love with it, and it was super awesome. And so I love the personal growth you get from it. It makes you want to do better, and it's a competition. However, it doesn't feel like, it's kind of like similar to dance, I'd say, where you're competing against yourself almost, because you're always trying to outdo what you did last year or even the day before, and just strive for greatness. And so it's been really neat.
So
experience.
Gabby convinced you, and you saw that she was at, fun fact, I interviewed her for my podcast years and years ago. I had a podcast called Are We Where Yet? And I interviewed her for that podcast. It's still out there on the interwebs. You can find it on YouTube. But so she convinced you, but let's go back, because you said all you wanted to do was dance. That's it. And it was dance with, you say?
Ballet Yuma.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because last time I think I said Yuma Ballet, and it's like backwards,
so there's
Yuma Ballet Academy, and then Ballet Yuma is the company for the academy.
Cool.
Yeah, it's a little confusing.
Yeah,
Johnny's like, which one is it? Pick one.
Yeah, just pick one already. Yeah. But you grew up dancing?
Yeah, so I grew up dancing ballet. I trained with Kathleen Sinclair and John Cristofori, and Kathleen Field actually owns the academy, and Emma M.K. Kong is now the artistic director, and they're just doing great over there, and I'm so proud of them and happy to help when
we were just talking about that because we had Alexandria Urias on the show, and they have a performance coming up this Saturday, the Alice in Wonderland, and she gave a shout out to Emma MK Kong for the production of the Alice in Wonderland. So
what she did the whole thing,
something
right?
like that.
Yeah, she started new. This is new in their repertory, so she started from the ground up.
Pretty incredible. So growing up, so ballet was your jam?
Oh yeah. I lived, breathed ballet.
Yeah. Okay. So what was that like? Like performing? What'd you enjoy about it?
I loved the discipline from it.
You're crazy, but that's cool. I like it.
Like waking up early. Like
and it. I grew up with ADHD, and so I found that it really helped me a lot, and it gave me so many life skills that were transferable into my adult life that I can now appreciate as an adult and look back and be like, wow, there are so many lessons I learned that like really stacked me up to really advance my career and like.
I have a daughter. She's a year and a half, but as soon as she turns 3, her mother and I said we're definitely going to put her in, and that's cool to hear that. One, you took to it because of the discipline. So I'm going to show this to Emma when she's 3. She's going to watch this. I say you could be Miss Yuma County if you're disciplined and you do this. But so the discipline, the dance, and what about the performance? I
loved performing. It's you go on stage and like, I never was the type to get jitters. I would weigh in advance, but when I'm actually side stage in the wing, I had this overwhelming sense of calm and just whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And I prepared so much going into this. Like, I feel confident enough, even if I messed up, fell down, whatever, it didn't matter. It was so fun for me, and just having that connection with an audience is so special, and you can feel the energy of the people, and it brings so much life to not only me, but I know to my peers too. If you talk to any dancer, that they'll say just you have no experience like going to an actual live performance.
Absolutely. And so you mentioned that you're up there, you're performing, you don't get jitters. And you mentioned preparation. You kind of went there. And I was listening to something. I listen to a lot of like motivational stuff in the morning to get my butt out of bed. And so it mentioned the way to do it, to be confident, is preparing. You got to do that. That you can't fake it. Right. You got to prepare. You got to do it over and over again, and then that jitter they'll go away, right? And you can bring that to it. So you've kind of found the secret sauce there, right? The recipe for success, and you went out there and you even mentioned, even if you messed up a little bit, you still brought that bravado and that, I'm okay. I know I got this.
Right, and it's so funny because. And I fell in love with it. And my sister is totally the opposite of me. She tried dancing and she hit the stage and she's like, this is not for me. And I feel like too, that kind of same mentality has even crossed over to Miss Yuma County, because I put so much prep into what I'm going to do at state in my interview, what I'm going to do at stage for my talent and for on stage questions and evening gown and everything. So all the hard work that and the effort, it's so paid off in that one fleeting moment. It's kind of mind-boggling, but the sense of accomplishment you get, no matter the results at the end of it, is just so fulfilling to me. And it's also really cool to just be in the same room as those people. You know, I think it's easy to, and I mean, I'm guilty of it too. It's really easy to get in your head sometimes and be like, okay, I'm not doing enough. And then you just have to change your mindset to, but I'm in the room with them, you know?
Yeah. And then again, you're confident that, hey, I'm in the room with them, but you earned it. Right. You've earned it. So in your dance career, was it always ballet?
It was mostly ballet.
So there was something else.
We did a little bit. So growing up at Yuma Ballet Academy, we also did Horton technique, which is a modern dance style. Actually, Emma M.K. Kong is the director of that. And so those and also too, ballet is kind of like the baseline for all kind of dance techniques. So it's really transferable to whatever style you're going into. I also did master classes growing up, and I went to different summer camps too, where we did some jazz and that kind of thing. I did do jazz before I went to Yuma Ballet Academy when I was younger. However, like I said, I really loved the structure ballet gave me.
Okay. So nothing else kind of clicked with you. It was always ballet.
It was ballet. I was a ballet girl.
Yeah, gotcha. And so we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to kind of really dive into, you went and you made it. You became Miss Yuma County. We're going to talk a little bit about that journey after this. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
Today's day sponsor is Hansberger Refrigeration. Today is the first day of spring, when the calendar finally catches up with what the Yuma Desert has been hinting at for weeks. Longer days, warmer afternoons, and the slow turn towards summer. Hansberger Refrigeration provides cooling and refrigeration services for homes and businesses across Yuma County. Details at hansbergerrefrig.com.
There's an extreme heat warning for Yuma and La Paz counties today, with the high near 107 in Parker. Mostly clear tonight with low around 65. In Quartzsite, sunny with the high near 106. Mostly clear this evening with the low around 69. And sunny in Yuma with the high near 107. Mostly clear this evening with a low around 70.
I'm Public Radio Runner. Join me for Bonus Smiles, the show sharing the stories and playlists that fuel runners. Why? Because the rando cheering you on at a mile 77 aid station is the same kind of person who supports local public radio. Join us every Saturday at 5 a.m. on KOFA at 94.7 FM for stories that soothe and jams that power long runs.
For over 55 years, Border Radio KOFA has been a voice for music and culture in the region. We play indie, soul, funk, world beats, and more, plus local stories and live sessions. Tune in live at 94.7 FM, on demand at borderradioaz.org, or on the KOFA app and discover your next favorite song.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up Yuma Radio. We are here speaking with Miss Yuma County, Madilyn Toms. And so I was kind of surprised when I saw that there was a Miss Yuma County because, and we don't have to get into it, but I thought it was kind of done and over with. I saw like a press release or something and people saying it's no more. But then on my feed, you pop up, and that's when I reach out to you. It's like, hey, come do my show. So when did you get your crown, and how did you hear about it starting back up again?
Well, so
you can take that off if you want. It's up to you.
Yeah, we'll take these off.
Yeah.
So I originally was, because I knew that there was going to be no Yuma pageant, I was going to compete at Valley of the Sun, which is an open organization in Phoenix. And unfortunately, I broke my ankle the week before.
Yeah, that puts a damper on things.
Yeah, so I unfortunately cannot compete there. And so I thought my opportunities for Miss Arizona was done. And then one thing led to another, and some people had come to Miss Arizona.org and asked if they could take over the Yuma scholarship program. And so there is now new leadership, and they had reached out to me and asked if I was interested in the title. And I was like, absolutely. Because I had such a great time last year that I wanted to try again this year. And so it just didn't work out for the timeline for competing at Valley of the Sun. But then this opportunity kind of came up, and I was like, okay, maybe it's meant to be. So, and like I said, I kind of think it was meant to happen because I'm such a Yuma girl. It made sense. So I was fortunate to.
And you said, we go back to it. It is a scholarship program.
Yes.
That's what it is at the roots, at the heart of it. And so they asked you, now, was there a competition, like the whole thing, or how did
No, so it was more of an appointed title.
Appointed, okay.
Yeah, so they reached out to me and asked if I was interested in it, and I applied for it.
Okay.
And so that's how that came about. And then we did have applications open for teens, and we just crowned our teen as of, was it last week or the week before? So now we have a teen as well, which is very exciting. And so, I'm just looking forward to Miss Arizona and having that experience again and seeing all the girls. I made so many friends last year, so it's really fun.
So then, Miss Arizona. So do you feel prepared for that? And when is that?
Yeah, I definitely feel that I am on my way. My prep is a little bit behind because I did have a broken ankle for 6 months, and good news, I went and saw my surgeon last week because we were debating if I needed surgery at this point, which was a little scary. And we did a CT scan so he could have a better image of it. So it's 70% healed, which is textbook healed. However, I still have a ways to go.
Yeah.
So
You're
I'm
not
sorry.
Be playing basketball after this.
Yeah. Well, he did say that if I had to play in the NFL, he would give me the green light on it. So I'll take that.
Okay.
So I started physical therapy this week. So, I feel as prepared as I can be. Like I said, though, it's the same as when I dance. I prepared for even the curveballs. And so this was just a curveball, and I just have to pivot and just keep moving forward. And no matter what happens on that stage, I can feel I'm accomplished for even going over that hurdle.
Yeah.
And really just, I even had a moment a few months ago, even last week before I knew if I had to do surgery. I was like, okay, I had that doubt creep in and was like, can I actually do this? If I have to go in for surgery at this point, we're in March, competition is June. Realistically, is that even something that can happen? And so I had to, battle with that mentality of, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to be putting my best foot forward? Literally on the stage.
Literally.
Right. Yeah. And so I decided, even if I was going to be in a boot, even if I was going to be on crutches, it is something I personally want to do for me. So I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And so,
that's a good mentality to have.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you're doing it. And I know with that title comes a platform, right?
Yes.
There's something that you're passionate about that you want to help express and get known in the community. What is your platform?
So my platform this year is Love Without Fear, Education for Prevention. It is to help those who are experiencing abuse, or really is to try to prevent those situations by giving education early on, or educating people throughout all walks of life, different resources, how to even recognize it, because a lot of the times, it's not talked about.
Yeah.
It's not talked about until it happens or you hear about it. And so how can we start the conversation about it to hopefully prevent these situations? Now, I don't know if that is something that will ever happen. However, it doesn't hurt to try.
Yeah. So you're doing that. And then I know public speaking and going out and representing certain things and having like a schedule where you have to be at and represent Miss Yuma County. How has that been for you?
So it's been great. I worked with the Caballeros a lot this year, and that's been so fun so far. I would love to do more if anyone is interested in reaching out to me to come make an appearance, volunteer, I will be there.
That's what you sign up for is volunteering, right? It's like you're supposed to be at these things, and people can call you, and you're supposed to say, "All right, I'll be there." Correct?
Yes. Okay. So if you have anything that you want Miss Yuma County to be at, let me know. And I will. You can message me on my Instagram or the program's Instagram. Also, I lost my train of thought.
Let me ask you. So there's also community service aspect to Miss Yuma County. So tell us about that community service.
Yeah. So actually, that's where my train of thought was going.
Yeah.
So we actually, as an organization, decided to work with a new nonprofit every single year. This year, we are partnering with the Yuma Food Bank, which is so exciting and really fun. I chatted with them a little bit at the tower lighting. So this is a full circle moment and making it happen. So looking forward to that. And then I also did something with CASA recently, more so to partner with my personal service initiative. And they're such a great organization as well. And they're doing such great things for kids that are in the foster care system or facing abusive situations and really advocating for those children. So something that's really near and dear to me. And
yeah, we had them on as well. Scott Bruce, the Elvis tribute show.
Yeah, it was so fun.
Did you go to that?
Yeah, I did. It was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he was great. He performed some songs for us here on the show and stuff. Yeah. So that and CASA, a lot of people, I guess, or I should say, not a lot. I don't know, but it seems like an organization that doesn't get a lot of press time, right? People don't know that there's these advocates.
Yeah, and some of it is the sensitive nature of the kids and their situations. You don't want to come out and say, "Hey, look at this," but also it needs to also be respected and cared for.
And they need people to sign up to be these advocates.
Very much so.
Yeah, absolutely. So, this community service, you've been enjoying it though?
Yeah, it is so fun. Actually, that is what really brought me into the Miss America organization is the community service aspect of it, because I find that fills my cup so much. And so the last few years, I've been trying to do as much as I can. So I made a personal tradition for myself is every single year on Christmas Eve, I actually bell ring for the Salvation of Army, because I just have so much fun doing it and just meeting the people, and just they always smile and they'll chit chat with me, and it's so fun. So
another good cause. Yeah. We have a couple minutes, but I want to ask you, have you watched Miss Congeniality?
I have. And you know what's so funny is the first thing my dad asked me when I won my crown last year as Miss Sunshine City, he was holding my crown and he was like, "So is it going to blow up?"
So like in the movie, like Miss Congeniality with Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, I don't remember it. I think I saw it.
So the bomb was in the crown, and she throws it, and the big giant Statue of Liberty blows up in the back.
She plays like an undercover FBI agent, and they go to the Miss USA or whatever pageant in like San Antonio, and they're like looking for the bad guy, and it turns out, I won't spoil it if you haven't seen it. It's been out for a while, but it's a good movie. So I had to ask Miss Yuma County. It's a good pageant movie.
Yeah. Absolutely. So when again is the Miss Arizona?
So it is the week of June 20th. I believe my Mrs. interviews are June 20th and teens are June 19th. And then that following week, so I think we have like 1 or 2 days off, and then the competition actually starts in the middle of the week that week.
Okay. And you guys go up to like the Phoenix area and go up there and do that and just get rolling, and you go out there with the new leadership that took over this program?
Yeah. So we'll head out there and, have fun.
Yeah, we'll be following along and we'll be rooting for you.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, and go up there, have fun, but also be prepared, right? That's the moral.
She will be. Yeah, there's no question about that. She'll be prepared.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the moral for today's.
Preparation prevents poor performance.
There we go.
There's your saying for the day.
We had one yesterday.
We had one yesterday in Spanish. Yeah, it was about like being mindful and like putting what you can't
control out of your mind.
Yeah, whatever you can't control, put that out of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
But we could obviously control the preparation, and you're going to be prepared. So good luck when you go up there. I know the competition becomes more steep up there, and you're competing against a lot, but it's always great when somebody goes up there and represents Yuma. We're all about Yuma right here.
Exactly.
So I think you're going to do great on that. And any shout outs you want to give real quick before we go, and how to follow you?
You can follow me on Miss Yuma County AZ on Instagram. We don't have a Facebook, however, we are working on it right now. And then my personal page is Madilyn Toms. Super easy, just my name. And
And then how do you spell your name real quick? Because it was different than our first.
It's different than first Madilyn.
Yeah.
So I am Madilyn.
All right, cool. I just wanted to make sure people knew that when they go and they search for that. But thank you so much, and we wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Good luck.
Thank you so much, guys.
All right, and with that, What's Up Yuma Radio is a production of KAWC, Colorado River Public Media. We broadcast from the studios in the Matador Activity Center at Arizona Western College in Yuma. We want to thank our engineer, Talon Gonzalez, along with Anthony Arnales, Juan Garcia, and Dave Reek.
You can find out more about KOFA at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. Stay tuned for KOFA's Midday Music.
And on Monday's program, we are going to have our very own Christina Bloom. They're live over there at the video department. We're going to talk to her. She's an aspiring actress.
You can listen to the podcast version of our program and check out past episodes anytime at kawc.org/podcast/What's Up Yuma Radio.
And if you want to be on the show, it's super easy. All you got to do is go to whatsupyuma.com or whatsupyuma.biz. Click that radio link, and then you can click and get your own spot right here, and we can tell your story like we just told Madilyn's here. You can do that. It's that easy at whatsupyuma.com.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by High Tanks Brewing Company, serving up scratch-made food, craft beers, and experiences at 2 desert locations in Welton. More at hightanks.com.
You are tuned into KOFA Yuma Border Radio 94.7 FM and 1320 AM. We can also be heard with the KOFA app and